gonna go to the store. I don't know where God put my vape at. So I can do my nails. Oh shit. I need some lotion. Like, shit just be disappearing. Like, I'm serious. Like, I can't understand how and why. Like, if God chose your husband for you, and he disappearing in the wrong direction, and I mean, I know, like, it takes, you know, someone to express their feelings and share that they do love someone. Cause you can't fall out of love. Like, there is no way you can do that. I mean, like, I was never really in love with nobody. Like, I never really had true love. Like, the only person I really did love was Chaz, you know, and it took me some time to see that because, you know, God had to show me what was in my heart the entire time. Which I already knew. I mean, it wasn't hard to figure it out. I mean, I just didn't, like, you know, I fucked up with, you know, somebody who, you know, wanted to use me. Basically wanted to use me. And, you know, didn't ask God for help, you know, to get his citizenship. And so, you know, I told the guy I was not ready. You know, I was dating him, but, you know, I didn't want to be married to no fucking body, you know. And then, you know, the shit really went into the wrong direction, really. I mean, really bad. I was living with my granddad, and, you know, God provides. I mean, he provides everything, like, you need. Like, all you have to do is ask him. I mean, you know, nobody formally asked me to marry them. It was just like, you know, my visa expired. Student visa expired. You know, I'm finna pay this girl to marry me. And I need you to, help me, basically. And so that's how that started. And then he basically tried to make me into something I was not, you know. And I was just, you know, just trying to grow and chill, basically. And I didn't have a voice to speak up and say no. You know, and I wish I never made that mistake, but at the same time, I know my kids is not mistakes. And they will never be mistakes in my life. And, but I wasn't in love. I was never in love. You know, natural love, the natural love that I was in love with was Chaz. You know, I will always think about you, you know, all the time, like wondering where you were, you know, a lot of the time. And I know you was like growing up and becoming your own man, and, you know, there was, you know, obviously as you were doing that, I was dating, you know, seeing guys, you know, but it wasn't like, oh, you know, I'm seeing stars. I love, you know, someone really bad. Yeah, I did. You know, I had someone that I did. You know, I lost my virginity too, and I thought that was, you know, but that was real childhood. You know, and I'm sure I was his first girlfriend. And, that was my first boyfriend. So, there's no love lost, though. He's actually my niece's, family member. So all of the connections that were connected, they are disconnected in a good way, I guess you could say. No one really hates me. No one really dislikes me. I'm currently in a situation where, it's difficult, for me to like the situation and the person at the same time. I really don't. I mean, I'm not saying I hate, the person, but, right now I'm not willing to be in the situation. I mean, like, willing to, share my kids. So, I'm not willing to do that right now. Maybe one day, when I feel comforted by God and that's the direction for me one day, when they get into a way that they can understand themselves without having to go through so much trauma in the wrong direction. So, I mean, there's been a prophecy on my life that God knew about since I was a kid. And so the traumatic things that did happen to me, they were learning lessons, so that I did not fall into them again. Like, walking into a church and just sitting there and letting my children hear all of, the things that they say about a so-called Satan that does not exist. I mean, but I guess, I understand it the way Jesus was talking about it, so, but really God was really talking about the heart of man, the understanding of, being able to have, good character and, I know that, the environment that, I grew up in, specifically myself, was very enforcing. I went to church almost every day because I was enforced to go, by someone who was forcing my mother to go for whatever reasons that was going on in their lives. So we was forced to go, and so I don't want to be forced to go into a physical church. I read my Bible sometimes. I pray to God a lot. I don't want to force my kids to go. God is real, and God is everywhere, so, they can talk to God at any point in time they want to. And God's angels are everywhere, so, And then, there's some things that God cleans up on his own, and, so those are the things I ask God for help with, discernment on, warning signs on when someone is, when someone is like, going through things. Anyways, God told me that I could, have a son. So, he told me that, and I was excited about that. And then I just didn't believe after a little while because, I wasn't getting the right responses. So, that kind of was like, wow, like, what was that about? And I kind of just swept it under the rug, and continued to have faith. I think it's more than faith, because if you say something, then it should happen. And so, there were some things that, people did tell me God said, and sometimes I didn't, chime right in. Like, for example, the ex that I was with told me I was going to have a little boy, a boy, and I told him, no, I'm not going to have none. And I did end up having a baby named Micah. And, you know, I wouldn't take him back for the world. And, you know, my daughter, you know, she was, someone told me too that I was going to have her, you know, but I already knew I wanted a boy and a girl, right? But, you know, I knew I wanted a boy and girl, and, you know, I would have preferred that I was with Chaz, but, you know, God is the one who has designed our children, and, you know, if I could, you know, I don't know, I can't do time, so I'm not gonna take my kids back for nobody, but if I could, you know, have had Chaz, like, and us growing up together in marriage, you know, then I wouldn't have had to go through so much. I mean, I'm sure, you know, there would have probably been some growth and changes that would have happened over time, but it would have felt natural a little. And I do believe that God still would have worked with me and helped me understand that I'm Israel. I'm not what my mom named me. So, you know, those are the things I wonder about. You know, how it would have happened, you know, if I had never met, you know, the guy I was with. So, you know, because, I don't know, like, now, I guess I prayed for the marriage to work, but God was like, you got to get out of here. You really do love someone else. You know, you got to get out of here. I'm not helping you to communicate love with him, basically. You know, you have someone else that you love, and I know that. You know, and it was hard for me to say, you know, I love you, Chaz. Like, you know, so that's what happened. I ended up professing my love on Facebook so I could just get it out. You know, and say what I really felt. And it was kind of hard because, you know, when you are in love and you're in an unloving situation and you don't say you really love someone, you know, and then, you know, God has shown you, you know, over and over and over and over and over and over again who your husband is. And then, you know, you just not, like, not understanding it because I was going through some trauma. Not trauma, but I was gaining my spiritual wealth. You know, God was helping me learn some wisdom in many different directions. And I really am excited about it and to share it and to, not build, but share the things that God has shown me because I'm excited about certain things. You know, I love... I love, being a woman, and I also love, fixing things. I don't like just cooking. I do love cooking, though, for somebody I love and who appreciates what I do. So I was in a situation for 14 years. No one afterwards. I've been separated now for about 3 to 4 to 5, somewhere in there. Never showed my royals again. I'm basically like in a whole celibate state. So it's been about 4 to 5 years, long time. Anyways, during that time, I've been communicating with God, talking to Him. It's been exciting, my growth. Some of it, I was learning to understand that God really did hear me when I said I did not like Him and I hated Him. I told Him I hate you to your face, and I didn't know why. It was just like diarrhea was coming out his mouth all the time. Thank God. So I could get out. So God got me out, and I'm so excited to start my life with someone I really do love. And, You know, I wouldn't change it for the world. He tall and everything. Like I liked him. Met him on the chat line. It was a blind date. And that is something I really do, and I really do love, because God brought me my husband when I was a young girl. And I wish we would have just never separated. I wish we would have never separated. I know I'm spoiled, though. I know God's gonna give me my husband. I think I'm more spoiled now because I communicate with God. But, you know, if I had opened my mouth up a long time ago, which I did, and I just kind of was closed mouth about things, you know, because I was struggling and dealing with things, and I guess I depended on, I wasn't feeling confident in my own voice at the time. You know, I was with my friends, we would hang out a lot, and it was just things I was dealing with from, you know, childhood that wasn't all the way healed. But I wasn't really feeling like that. Anytime I was around Chaz, I really didn't feel all of the stress from my childhood. It was like as soon as I got what to do, it was like everything came up. Like, oh, it was like throw up was just coming out my mouth. But I didn't seem like I was dealing with that with him, like, at all. Like, it wasn't like, even if we was like, you know, he was going to the bank or something, we wasn't talking about money. Like, that is the shit I never had to really deal with. Yes, we was young, but, you know, I thought about it today, like, he was working at Harris or something, making guns. Next thing you know, I told God, you know, you're not answering my prayers. And I didn't even know, like, and then next thing you know, shots fired. I was living in a patch split down the street. Next thing you know, shots fired. My roommate's car had got shot up. I was in the house with, what was it, 1, 2, 3, 3 or 4 girls, me included. And it was like 1, 2, I don't remember how many men, maybe like 3. But, you know, I was in my room and I was growing. But it was things that I was going through that, you know, God was warning me about, you know, take off the scarf. You know, that's not what I wanted you to do with your head. Put the scarf on when you're praying. Just pray like regular, like, you know, like you're talking to me. Take the dress off. You don't need that dress, you know. So he basically dressed me up. No, I don't want to say he dressed me up because I was reading the scriptures incorrectly in some areas. Like, you know, how to be a wife to a man that I love. So them scriptures did not match for me at all. Not only that, those specific scriptures were, it was for the church. And I don't really know right now what, you know, I know through and through that it was for the big church, the bigger church, everyone around me as angels. And it wasn't for no, you know, the man is the head of the household, you know, it was basically saying that Jesus, our Savior, and his dad, Jehovah, is the head of the house. Everyone's house. I mean, like, all of us together in one house. So, you know, the whole submitting, to the wife submitting to her husband, that is the church, the whole church, you know, So some people was getting it wrong, and the husband was like, I'm the head of the house. And the woman was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And now, you know, I'm not trying to make fun of people that went through, because it was really a very bad situation. Because women thought they had to submit, some of them, not all of them. And, you know, men and thought they was the head honcho in the house. It's my house. You know, but that is not what the scripture means in the book of Ephesians. So when I found out, you know, that is not what it means, I was happier than a motherfucker. I was happy because, I don't know, God was pouring his spirit on me and helping me understand he's the head of the house. So, nobody don't get to rule over me. And I'm not ruling over nobody else. I just want, you know, love. So, you know, my kids to be treated nicely. And, you know, my kids come first. Now, I don't want nobody to hurt my kids. And, their voice matters. And I love my niecey poo. And, you know, I matter as their mom. I never want to be put in another situation like that ever again in my life. So, I talked to Dad, you know, about, you know, keeping my kids. And, so that's all I can do. You know, right now the kids are not with me. They're in a certain situation I don't like, but you know, God is working on it. You know, so currently I'm in a disclosed location. You know, I would like to give you the location so that you can see me, and that you will make the best decision and to remove yourself from fake love. All right, bye-bye.